Segment 2, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine. Presentation of Sonny Hersh and myself. Alphabetical listings of every guest on the web, ntnm.org. In coming weeks, you'll see all sorts of interesting people like Anita Alvarez, Tony Preckwinkle, Larry Sufferton, Jesse White, Terry O'Brien, and lots more. In any event, one of the things about covering politics, and of course haven't covered politics that long, I did attend the 1972 Democratic Convention, is that there are a lot of people behind the scenes that nobody knows that are major players, okay? And in ways you may not imagine at all. And it just, to me, it's one of the most fascinating topics there possibly is. And somebody who's not only very much a major player, but somebody who's made a real difference, and a lot of times for the positive. In politics. Well, the fact is, he doesn't. You know what? You'll get to meet him for yourself, but that's one of the beauties of the show. You get to meet people you wouldn't ordinarily meet. And we're talking about Phil Molfese, who is the president of Granger Terry. Hey. Phil, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And I accidentally started running into you, I guess, about 2 or 3 years ago. And I know you handled Bernie Stone at one time. And all of a sudden, I find out you're handling Mike Hyman. Who was also taking out some, who was also doing stuff in Jewish Chicago with. And of course this year, and I'm sure I don't know everybody, but Scott Cohen initially, who's a very nice guy, I got to tell you. And I forgot, I'll tell you a story off the air. He did a very nice thing, so we'll talk about that. And Terry O'Brien, one of my favorite people. So in any event, tell us about Granger Terry.
Sure.
Where are you guys located?
Yeah, we're based downtown. We're North LaSalle, just right there across from City Hall. So it's real convenient for elected officials in that area.
Yeah, and what exactly? I mean, your public relations firm?
Yeah, we provide campaign support, everything from fundraising services to public relations to direct mail to putting together the TV spots. So it's really an all-inclusive list of services. I mean, the idea is we help them raise the money and then we help them spend it. So that's kind of our business model.
No, and of course you're very effective. I think you were famous in part for handling Dorothy Brown, her first campaign.
We did help Dorothy a bit on her first run, and then I know she had a lot of people involved in that campaign who kind of took the ball and run with it. I think we helped her with her launch, and then we sort of moved on to other things.
Very good. And now, how long has the firm been around?
Well, I've been doing this for 15 years, and we had an office here, and then we were in Savannah for a bit. We were doing so much work down there that we had an office.
Savannah, Georgia?
Yeah, Savannah, Georgia.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big change, but we've had our office on LaSalle for the past 4 years now, and before that, we were in Naperville for a bit, and being downtown, there's nothing better than it. So we're really happy to be down.
Oh, you're definitely in the heart of the action. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
And you've got a really big-time seminar coming up. I mean, this is something I really wish I could go to. It's just the wrong day for me.
Yeah, I know. It is a great seminar that we're putting together. We're working with Andy Shaw will be there. Andy Shaw will be speaking.
Political reporter. Well, for many years, the political reporter at Channel 7. And he's with the Better Government Association right now?
He is. He's with BGA now, and he's going to be speaking, as well as Rich Miller from Capital Facts. So I know...
I read him every day.
Yeah, Rich is, in our state. I mean, he's one of the biggest guys out there as far as keeping in touch with politics and keeping in touch with what elected officials are doing and candidates. So
I don't think I possibly would begin to know what's going on in the State House, and I still probably don't know a lot without him. Plus, his website has links to all the papers throughout the state, and I just find it invaluable for...
it's a great source of intelligence for professionals and people who just want to stay in touch with politics. Even a lot of folks I know in business, they'd love to keep tabs on it and subscribe to it so that they can, keep touch with legislation that may be coming up or, look at things strategically.
Yeah, I also give him a lot of credit because he found a whole new way to deliver news to people and make money off it.
Yeah.
Because basically he doesn't print a newspaper. Capital Facts. He actually used to fax people every day.
Right. That's right. That's right. I know now he's people still get faxes, some of them, and his web-based service is really helpful. So it's a tough job for him, I'm sure, with the constant updates. You never know.
Yeah, we've tried to get him on the show in the past, and one of these days we will.
Well, hopefully we'll have an opportunity to see him, and at the conference I'll mention it to him.
So he's going to be what's the basically what's the overall umbrella thing?
Well, we're going to be teaching. So it's there'll be courses on everything from fundraising to direct mail, how to figure out who's a good fit for you consulting-wise.
Yeah.
You know, all the different facets, some public speaking training, fundraising training, direct mail. What makes a good direct mail piece? What makes it presentable? What makes it effective? You know, how do I select a pollster? How do I know, you know, anyone can do a poll, but how do I know that poll is statistically sound? How do I know that it's an accurate measurement of what people really are thinking? Those things, I think, for someone just getting into politics, or even for some experienced pros, they really need to get a grasp on those fundamental parts to make good decisions.
Yeah.
And an elected official, really all they have is their ability to use discretion to make decisions. And that's why, you know, it's so critical that they're empowered with this for their campaigns, that they're able to make good decisions and know some of the criteria.
Yeah, you mentioned polls. That's a great example, because I've had friends run and they'd show me their poll numbers,
right.
and I think, wow, they're in good shape. And you know
Sure.
what?
Yeah, you have to look at the sample size. You have to look at, you know, how that sample size is selected. You know, how are the questions written? Are they biased? You know, there's a lot of different little facets to a poll that come into play. And with direct mail, I mean, a lot of guys are, you know, still they're not red tagging the mail. It's not politically processed. They're bulk mailing it. They want to know why their mail's not getting there on time.
Yeah.
You know, it has to be red tagged. It has to be politically processed. And in that case, mail will travel like first class mail.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that, you know, when they're talking to a consultant or they're trying to do it for themselves, or you're a staffer on a campaign, you know, you need to know these things, whether you're running for alderman in a small suburb or you're running for governor.
And by the way, just for people who don't know what the consequences are, if you don't red tag it and send it out right before the election, it might show up a week after the election.
Right, that's right.
And you spent all this money and nobody gets it, and there's no votes for you.
Yeah, it's so true, and it's a fundamental part. But when you're dealing with a processor or a political mailhouse, you just need to make sure these fundamental questions are asked, because, you know, if you don't ask, they may not process it that way.
Yeah.
And then it ends up, you know, being treated as bulk mail. So political mail has special rights and privileges, and it's great that, you know, you can see it move right
yeah,
down.
and it has to be delivered before the election if it's sent out at certain points.
Yeah, if it's political mail, they establish a cutoff, and as long as you submit your mail by that cutoff, red tagged, it will be delivered prior to election day.
Yeah. Now let's talk about some of the other speakers, because you've got some great speakers there, and great topics.
Sure. You know, Jim Nally, who I know you've had.
Yes, Jim Nally, one of the as far as I'm concerned, the best election lawyer there is.
Jim is great. I've worked with Jim on a bunch of different campaigns, and Jim is really knows his stuff. He'll be there teaching on election law, so some of the basics of election law. You know, how to stay on the ballot if you're being challenged, how to challenge some of your opponents. He'll go into some of those details, as well as John Davis. John Davis, you know, who was with CBS for a long time. So John Davis will be there as well. You know, Robert Wimberly, he's the founder of Blue Searchlight. He'll be speaking on opposition research, which sometimes, no matter how much money a candidate raises, if there are things that your opponent has done that research is invaluable, you can really, you know, use that to your advantage. And their vote records, their, you know, maybe even where some of their money's been raised from. Yeah. So lots of good stuff.
Absolutely fantastic. So this is a 2-day deal.
It is. It's 2 days. It's going to be September 26th and September 27th. Yeah. So it's 2 days long. It's you know, full training, and then Rich Miller, you know, will be giving he's our closing speech. Yeah. Should be really exciting.
Yeah, that night is Yom Kippur. I'd be there that Sunday.
Yes, I know. We've the date. Really, you know, we had a limited dates to choose from.
No, listen, you're not going to get rich off me. That's for sure.
Well, hopefully we can help some folks learn a little more about campaigns and get them better positioned to win. So. No,
that'd be great. Who are some of the people you're handling this time around?
Oh, working with Terry O'Brien. I mean, Terry's got a great campaign going. We had a great launch for him, and now we've recently just, actually yesterday, just signed a lease on a campaign office. And,
the one on the west side, or
I believe
near west?
Yes, it's in near west side.
660.
You probably, I don't know the address off the top of my head, but you know.
Yeah, no, I was talking, because I was talking to him about it, and that was a really nice event, by the way.
Yeah, Terry's really off to a good start. We had the fundraiser, and he did quite well that night, so really excited about helping Terry, and you know, he's looking really good, wants to bring a lot of fiscal accountability to the county board, and with his record at Water Reclamation District as a president there, having been able to, you know, maintain a AAA bond rating from all of the agencies, and to be able to refund money to the taxpayers. He's just really, you know, a great candidate to have, particularly with the problems they've had at county board.
Yeah,
So.
he's actually the first and third most watched shows are with him.
Really?
And number one being The Deep Tunnel.
Yeah, Deep Tunnel, I've seen it. Great.
And number three was The Ride Along the North Shore Channel.
That's right, on the boat.
And that's the up-and-comer climbing one.
Wow, how about, well, I don't think it'll pass the tunnel anytime soon. The tunnel
No, it won't. There's about 30,000 between them.
That's
but,
right. That tunnel is a great show to see if you haven't seen it. So.
Well, thank you very much. But no, Terry's done some great stuff, and of course he's so responsible. And you know, the fact is that you know, you guys don't get to see people off camera. I do, and you could tell who's a real straight shooter. And one thing about Terry, he's a real straight shooter. Now, that being said, I'm going to be interviewing Tony Preckwinkle later today, so I've got to be fair about it. And Dorothy Brown will be coming on too, and I have had Todd Stroger on. So we'll be interviewing everybody before the election. And listen, everybody gets the same showcase, and I'll try to treat everybody fairly and squarely. In any event, anybody else you're handling? Or?
Oh, geez, we're working with, we're helping Scott Cohen. We have multiple judicial candidates and other folks running for office that I'm not personally involved with, but Caitlin Hanley in our office is working with, and she's helping guide them and take them along.
Caitlin. Caitlin and I are in touch quite often. And also I want to thank Grace Kaufman, who's here today.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And thanks so much. And she was handling the table for Terry O'Brien at last week's event. Mickey's hands are starting to go in the wrong direction here. Well, Phil, you know, this is great. At this point, you know, if people would like to contact you and find out more about the wonderful world of politics, they call you?
Yeah, they can give me a call at 312-541-1600. 312-541-1600.
Thank you very much for being here, everybody, today. Thank you, my entire technical crew, Sonny Hersh. Check us out on the web, ntnm.org. Bye, everybody.